Let's vamonos.
Hi, I'm Joanna Lopez with Texas Premium Financial Services. I want to take this time to say thank you to all of our clients for making this spring such a success. I'm honored you chose us to help you with your business. And now, if you didn't know, we provide a range of services to meet the needs of businesses of all sizes, from small sole proprietorships to larger enterprises, one of them being bookkeeping services. Our team of certified bookkeepers will provide you with accurate and up-to-date financial records. We ensure that information is correctly categorized, stored, and interpreted in order to provide you with the decision-making insights you need. You can contact us at 832-990-0403.
Hey everybody, we are live. This is Let's Vamonos Live. I'm your host Desiree. Thank y'all for waiting so patiently. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but no worries. We're here, we're live. As y'all know, thank you so much to our sponsor, Texas Premium Financial Services. If you need any services, help with your small business, please reach out to Joanna. She's amazing. And also, thank you so much to Cargo Vintage Ladies. We're here again on the pink couch today inside Cameron Ironworks building. So we're excited. We're going to have a new guest today, new episode. Super awesome and excited about what we're about to share this episode. So stay tuned, guys. Again, thank y'all for the support as always. We really appreciate the support. And unfortunately today, this episode is not sponsored by the Yellow Management. She is not available today, but if y'all know Sam with the Yellow Management, please go support her and follow her at the Yellow Management on IG. She can help you with any virtual assistant business. But just as a reminder, follow and subscribe to us on IG, Facebook, or YouTube, or wherever you can follow us and catch our content wherever you like to watch live streaming as well. As a reminder, I am a brand ambassador for the Berry Fab. So we really appreciate the Berry Fab. They have amazing chocolate dipped handmade strawberries. They are delicious. We really appreciate them. They are amazing. Go get you some if you haven't. The Berry Fab on IG. And if you saw my stories earlier, my beautiful coiffed hair was done by Emily today by the Moxie Hair Studio. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, Moxie Hair Studio, for making sure I look beautiful. I love it. It's wonderful. Go check out my reel on Instagram as well. But we're moving along. We're going to talk about community events. We've got some great community events that are going to be happening this month. We're still in May. As y'all know, Shop Local Market is one of our sponsors for our community events where you can shop, eat, drink, and shop local anywhere in Houston. They are at the Houston Farmers Market every Saturday and Sunday. So go check them out if you haven't. It's off of Airline, 2520 Airline, Houston Farmers Market, every Saturday and Sunday. Another really cool, amazing event that's going on this Sunday, y'all, is the Hot Sauce Festival. It's going to be at the Carbach Brewing Company. So if you've never been, this is their third annual. We're going to have a wonderful hot sauce vendors out there and other small business vendors. And we're excited to be partnering up with them, or Shop Local is going to be partnering up with them. But we want y'all out there. We need y'all's votes. We need y'all's taste testers for the hot sauce. So if you like hot sauce, you're definitely going to want to check them out this weekend. Another amazing event that is going on in the current future, which is next Tuesday, there is a menu of menus. It's the 20th, I think it's actually the 21st annual menu of menus. They're going to be doing their usual at the Silver Street Studios. And you looking for a discount, the promo code is Shop Local for 10% off the general admission. So you're definitely going to want to get that code so you can get some money off of your general admission. I mean, why not, right? And as a reminder, next week, Shop Local will be at Axelrad Tuesday and Wednesday for Shop Local Tuesdays or Taco Tuesday night, and then Jazz Wednesday with steaks and jazz music, steaks with the Mexican steaks, and then jazz at Axelrad as well. We're really excited about that. So busy upcoming week, busy weekend. We want y'all to be involved. We want y'all to know about these events that are coming up. But moving along, now we're going to be talking about other things that are going on in the community, such as this is Mental Health Awareness Month, y'all. And we're really excited about this episode because one of our guests is going to be talking about mental health awareness. But we also are a supporter of Melanin Minds, which they do third and the third ward, which is the third Saturday. They are going to be doing, Saturday they're going to be doing How to Listen Long. And then on Sunday they're going to be doing a relaxation coloring book. So I think that's going to be super cool. So definitely I think you're going to be interested in that. Like again, we're talking about mental health awareness. So these are some great opportunities for y'all to participate here in the city. We also have some other cool things that are going on. So as y'all know, I have helped and talked about WHI, which is West Houston Institute. So they are doing some really cool women empowerment movements. So Women Empowering Women National, they actually had their first launch today, and they were able to come out to support and kind of do like a first Houston chapter. So the Houston chapter was super cool to be able to be a part of. I just really think it's amazing to be able to network with women that are empowering other women. And if you're interested, connect with Connie Leon or connect with me and let me know if you're interested. You want to go to the next one, I'll let y'all know when the next one is. Moving along here, let's see, y'all, I'm still kind of getting familiar with this. There's so many things. So I don't have a flyer for this one, but I have this right here. I wanted to show y'all a couple things that are going on. Actually, I do have a flyer for this. Let me see here. Let's see. Okay, casting calls. As y'all know, oh no, sorry, not casting calls. Switch. WHI. WHI is, again, they are doing the Women Empowering Women group, but then we're also doing other cool things, classes. So some of y'all know I've gone to classes there. They're doing a mentoring swarm. So this is the flyer for it, and I'll post it here as well. But they're doing a mentoring swarm to help you find the right mentor for yourself. It's going to be May 25th, which is up and coming. And then after that, they're doing a lot of things. They're also doing a Maker Business Accelerator. This is a flyer as well. If you're ever interested in any of this stuff, let me know. This is with WHI. The program director is Connie Leon. She is also the founder of Houston Latina Collaborative. So if you're ever interested in any of those things, let me know. I try to talk about them as much as possible here, but if you're a small business and you're ready to up your game or get some free information, some free help, some free mentorship, WHI is the place to go for that. So I've been able to get a lot of free information for my own business. Okay, now to the casting call. As some of y'all know, I have been very gracious that I've been connected with some movie filmmakers here and locally here in Houston, and one of them is doing a casting call. And I did show this last week, but I wanted to kind of get a little bit more in depth on what this casting call entails. So they're looking for 2 female actors between the ages of 7 and 9. And they're also casting a male actor between the ages of 35 and 40. There are some more details on that. So if you're interested, let me know. Or you can also go on my IG and find out as well. Let me put the casting call. Go on my IG and I have the post up there with all the details. I know this is kind of small. I know you probably can't see it, but go to the IG and see all the details. But definitely an opportunity for those that are trying to get into the acting, filmmaking business. It's local. It's here in Houston, and it's with and it's for a short film. Okay, so moving along, we are going to be talking now about a lot of things to share with y'all for community-wise. Staying in the realm of media, now we're moving to plays. So yesterday, if again y'all follow me on my stories, I was at the Alley Theater, and me and my mom went to this play. I always say this kind of, how do you say it, Mom?
Torera.
Torera. That's how you say it. But it's about a bullfighter, a woman bullfighter. It's a great story. I loved it. We're going to be doing a live review over this whole thing. So I'm super excited about that because I think it's going to be really cool. And so if you're interested in going, this play is going to be going on until, this play is going to be going on until June 9th. Let me look. I think it has it in here. Let me look really quick. I don't want to say the June 4th. June 4th. So it's going on right now. Get your tickets. It's totally worth it. It is a Latino story told in a play, and I just highly recommend. Stay tuned for Sunday. I'll do the full review and I'll share more details as well. So if you want to see it, don't watch my review. Or if you do want to see it, you can watch my review and kind of get an idea of what's going on. The other cool thing that is going on that I had got to experience was last Saturday, I went to the directorial debut of Eva Longoria's film, Flaming Hot. That was amazing, and I'm going to be sharing more about that, but just so y'all know, June 9th, Flaming Hot is coming out on Hulu and Disney Plus, and we're really excited to be able to promote and share, and I'm also going to be doing, me and my mom are going to do a movie review on that because I took my whole family to see that, and it was amazing. We were so excited to be a part of that, and just to be in the same space as Eva Longoria and the amazing actors that were there, oh my God, telling Latino stories. Again, y'all, support Latino films, support Latino artists, creatives, all of those things. That's what we're here for. But I think that's it. I'm pretty sure that's it on the community events. So I really appreciate y'all coming in and joining us today. We are going to get to our guests soon, but as y'all know, we do have a sponsor for our trending topics, which is sponsored by H&S Apparel. So if you are interested in supporting them, we highly recommend supporting them because they are a local small business, Latino owned. You can also get a code with us. It's only here live. The code is only here live. So the code is Vamonos for 10% off H&S Apparel. Go check out their stuff. They're supporting us. We want to support them. And you can only get the code here live, which is, again, Vamonos. Let me see. I thought I put it up. Is it showing? No. Cancel. Click. There it is. There's the code. Okay. Again, check it out. And we really appreciate that. But no further ado, we are going to bring our guests on to talk about our trending topics for the week that we shared. So thank you so much. Let's bring on our guest, Christopher Rodriguez. Come on, Chris. Come on down, as they say. We really appreciate you. Let's get adjusted here. We've tried to see if we can get all of us in the camera, get us all in. So thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely.
We're super excited. As some of y'all know, we bring our guests on for the trending topic segment to talk about the things that are going on in our, internet world, things that are going on. And you don't know anything about the trending topics. You're not. Did you see any of my stories? Have you seen any of the?
No. I'm excited.
You're coming in blind.
I'm coming in super
blind.
blind.
He's coming in blind. So this is more like an icebreaker, and it's fun, y'all. We really appreciate it. So let me take this coat off, though, y'all, because we're no longer doing that. We're doing trending topics, and we're going to be talking about the first one. So Mother's Day was just this last weekend, right? This one's a little bit of a chisme one. I'm going to start you. This is a little chisme, right? But if you follow movies, if I can find it, here it is. If you follow movies, Chris Pratt was getting some backlash regarding his Mother's Day post that he posted on social media, talking about his appreciating his mom and his mother-in-law and his current wife, but there was no mention of his ex-wife. So we did a poll on our trending topics segment, and we asked, should he have included his ex as an appreciation post for Mother's Day? So let me tell you what our supporters said before you chime in. So our supporters said 60% said yes, 40% said not necessary, and then 0% it's appreciated. So eager to hear from a male perspective. I don't know if you have any, if you're familiar with this. like, in other words, as far as like having friends or experiencing yourself with Mother's Day. But do you think? What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I think as adults we set the principle.
Right.
So regardless of the circumstances that I would have with my ex-wife, the most important thing would be to celebrate her regardless, because she's still the mother of my children.
Right.
So me personally, I would definitely still shout her out and celebrate.
Yeah, that's you personally. But of course, the internet went wild and crazy on him. As much as they love him, they were like totally dogging him. They were just like, because he also did a little jab and said he acknowledged his wife for being a great stepmom to his son.
Oh.
So everybody was like, wait, how do you mention the son without the mother, right? Like, it was a little rough.
That's difficult because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, I mean, we don't necessarily know the relationship.
Right.
So it's so easy for us to be like, oh, you know. Like,
to put an opinion out. Or
at the same time, we don't know the relationship.
Exactly.
It could be extremely complicated.
Or it could be totally chill. And they could be totally chill.
Maybe they could just be cool. Maybe she's cool with it. Like, I'm glad you didn't mention me. You know,
so, I mean, again, this is why we do trending topics, though, because
it's a good one.
It's just one of those things that we like to share. Next one is, and I don't know if you're familiar with this movie, some people aren't, Freaky Friday 2 has the production has just said that they're coming out with a Freaky Friday 2. You're familiar with the first one?
Yeah, that's been a long time since I've seen the first one,
Yeah.
A really long time.
Yeah, so people are super excited because Lindsay Lohan is coming back to the movie scene, and she's going to be reprising this role with Jamie Lee Curtis, who's amazing. So 75%, we're fine. 75% said they'll catch the sequel, and then 25% said no, and then 0% said hadn't seen it. Okay, y'all, don't eat me, but like, I have not seen the first one.
Oh, really?
Okay, so that show came out when I was like, I think in college. I'm just aging myself here. Like, I think it came out when I was in college.
It's definitely an older movie.
Is it early 2000s?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think I was in I definitely was in high school when that movie came out.
Yeah, so I think I was in college when that. So that's probably one of the reasons why I didn't watch it. So just so y'all know. Next one is really cool. If you're a fan of Martha or familiar with Martha, Martha was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Is that Martha Stewart?
That is Martha Stewart.
Well, damn.
Can you guess how old she is?
If I had to take a good guess on Martha Stewart, I would say she's like, I'm going to be nice because I don't want to, aging a woman could be,
right.
Could get you in a lot of trouble.
Right.
I would say she's like in her maybe mid-60s.
Yeah, no, she's not.
Okay.
She's actually 81.
Man, my props to her. But she's doing good.
So we said, she's a baddie. 40% said she's a baddie, and then 60% said, way to go, Martha. And then, of course, 0% said, I'm Martha. No one wants to see that. You know, y'all are pretty nice. So y'all are pretty nice. So, yeah, she's 81 years old. She's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I think Sports Illustrated this is smart marketing-wise, because they've never, I mean, that would be like putting Tina Turner way back then. That would be like putting Tina Turner on a Sports Illustrated, and Tina Turner's never been on Sports Illustrated, and she's a very, a big icon for her figure and her legs and everything. Martha, not so much. So this was like this to me was a really smart marketing tool for them.
Yeah, and I honestly think just from a standpoint of how we as a society struggles with accepting and admiring the beauty of aging. I think this is really dope, because I think like we need to show that aging gracefully is still a beautiful thing. You don't have to live up to the social media norms.
Right.
And I think it's beautiful. I think it's awesome that she did that, and I'm mad props to her for even I don't know. There's
more pictures actually. This is just the few that I shared on here on the stories.
Wild, she's wild. I like
She is wild. So yeah. So those are our trending topics, guys. Thank y'all so much for chiming in. If you want to chime in as well, please do so. We want to hear from you. We want to hear any comments or chats regarding. Drop the comments down below. Drop the questions down below as we get through this episode. But we're really excited to be here with Chris. Thank you again so much for chiming in on that and just sharing.
That was fun.
Sharing a little bit, right?
Oh.
Some of them can be a little more juicy. It just depends on what time we're in.
Right? I don't know. You gave me a good juicy one in the first one because I was thinking to myself, wow, like if I had a complex relationship with my ex, like how would I do that? That's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one because everybody is different, right? And we all, like you said, we all want to be adults about things, but sometimes, but it's also only what we know.
For sure.
Like people ask me all the time questions about some of my personal stuff. I'm like, oh, this is what you see on my social media is just surface level. There's so many layers, right? And so you can never just believe what you see on social media. There's always so much more. So, but we're gonna get to you now. Okay, because this is why we're here. We're super excited to have you on. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, which this is May, so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to also want to hear some fun facts about yourself. So if you have a fun fact that you'd like to share with our supporters today, share a fun fact about yourself. Maybe something that people wouldn't normally know about you from first meet. Like,
okay, that's fair. I got two.
Okay.
I got two. So the first one, a lot of people don't know, is that I can actually draw.
Oh, okay.
I actually got accepted to HSPBA and could have gone to HSPBA for high school for art and theater, but I didn't go. But art's kind of been one of those like secretive like things that I do on the side, so I definitely can draw. And the second one, which I think is funny, is like the name of the show, Vamonos. This Vamonos. I grew up with my mom. My mom is half Irish, half Italian. My father is Latino.
Okay.
And I didn't grow up in a Spanish-speaking house,
right.
But the first word that I learned was Vamonos.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and funny is like my mom, who doesn't speak Spanish, was always telling me Vamonos, Vamonos, Vamonos.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. That's so cool. Well, just to give you a little insight, if you don't know, Let's Vamonos was a term that we used in our household, Spanglish term. I grew up in a predominantly English-speaking home, but Let's Vamonos was a Spanglish thing that we did, and so that's how I got Let's Vamonos, for those of y'all that don't know. But thank you for sharing that fun fact. Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And I'm eager to see your art as well.
Oh. One day.
One day. So again, thank y'all so much for joining us. Please drop any questions down below for Christopher. I'm going to just scooch this a little bit more. I want to center just so you know. We want to talk about mental health awareness. We want to have this open conversation about it. And people are probably wondering why we have Christopher on. But if y'all don't know, go follow him on Instagram, which is 82purple, right?
82.purple, yes.
82.purple. And you can find it on IG. But what is 82purple?
82purple is a creative agency that specializes in the mental wellness space. It's always been a dream of mine to create a creative agency that actually inspires and creates dope aesthetic spaces where BIPOC community, brown, black, indigenous, Latinos can come together and talk about the importance of mental health, but doing it in a way that actually is just dope.
Right.
And creating a safe experience for us to come and kind of be able to break some of the stigmas that we're trying to break.
Yeah. And I like that you say creative, because most people think when you talk about mental health or even therapy, they're thinking clinical, they're thinking like, an aesthetic of like a hospital, or just like this really like simple room, right? Like with a couch and like, something very stereotypical. I really appreciate that. So a lot of y'all know I do talk about my own mental health as well. I'm very proud to say I have my own counselor. I have my own journey that I've experienced on, finding out that, hey, at one point I was like, I need some help.
Yeah.
And I had to, it took me a minute to get there, but that was okay, because I realized once I did finally say, I need to talk to somebody, and then everything else just kind of it developed, it evolved in a way that I've actually grown immensely over the last 2 years from getting counseling and help. So again, we really appreciate y'all out there. But we want to talk about the stigma. So you mentioned earlier about stigmas.
Yeah.
So how can we reduce the stigma around mental health issues? Just so y'all know, guys, I don't know what's going on back there. There's some noise. I don't know if they're like working on something, but there's like some noise back there. But how can we reduce the stigma around mental health issues in men and not just men, but just our community in general, and encourage them to like seek help.
Well, that's right now our major topic, our I like to say major focus right now is we're definitely focused on BIPOC men, so brown and Latino men, especially here in the city of Houston. And as we know that there's been an enormous amount of suicide rate amongst Latino men that's not spoken of. And then we get into the just seeing how the suicide rate is even higher in the African American community. And although the suicide rate is decreasing nationally, in our communities it's not.
It's not.
And so when we look at the complexities of men, one of the biggest issues that we have is the ideal of being vulnerable. How can you be vulnerable and still be a man?
Right.
And a lot of us, for generational, we haven't been taught the proper way to navigate our emotions and speak on them in a way where we can be vulnerable and still look at it as masculine.
Right.
So I think the best way to actually counter those stigmas, especially when it comes to men, is actually creating an experience where men can feel safe, can be around other men, and be able to actually share their journeys and experiences. And it's so funny because when we create these safe spaces for men you would never ever think would even remotely talk about their emotions and feelings. As soon as they're around in a safe place, around men that's representation of them, around the communities, around the city of Houston, I mean, some of these guys you can't stop talking.
Right.
And I think they absolutely open up, and I think that's how you get to the point where you show that therapy doesn't have to look like a white lady with a clipboard, right?
Yeah.
It actually
it usually is a white lady.
Right. It's actually therapy can be something as simple as even a group, and so it's definitely showing men that it's actually pretty manly to actually talk about your feelings and navigate those emotions.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, especially in the Latino community, the word machismo is one of those words where a lot of Latin men grow up in a home where there's machismo of some point in time. My dad grew up in a home where there was machismo, yet somehow he was able to navigate away from that, and I think a lot of that had to do with also his upbringing, being around a really strong Latina woman, my grandmother, who showed him how to sweep and showed him how to clean restrooms and showed him how to do things that typically men don't do. So I always tell people, my dad taught me how to mop, not my mom. My dad taught me how to mop. He taught me how to clean a restroom, to clean a sink, because that's how he learned.
We gotta break those stigmas that women are the best cleaners, because I think us men are some exceptional good cleaners. I like to take pride in me being a gray mopper, sweeper, and I'm actually pretty. I should have used that as like my secret talents or whatever. I'm really good at cleaning the bathroom, so yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, we did have a comment come through, and I did want to share it. How did you come up with the name 82 Purple? Also, this is Deborah. She's asking, how did you come up with the name 82 Purple?
Oh, I definitely want to say hello to Deborah. She's pretty awesome. Well, purple, definitely, and just the environment, when you look at the way it is in nature, it's one of the most beautiful colors. But purple also embodies creativity, and embodies the essence of healing. And it also embodies the spirituality of being at peace.
Right.
And so when you think of purple, and I think of how that color resonates, like colors like lavender, and we know lavender has such an important role as far as healing and definitely healing as far as the standpoint of anxiety. It was a perfect color. And side note, my father's favorite color is purple. And a big part of me getting into mental health was to pay homage to my father, who didn't have a voice.
Right. The legacy. So it definitely honors him. And in 82, of course, that was the year that I was born in, and of course that's when dope things started to happen. So, yeah, for sure. So we are definitely kindred spirits in that sense. Y'all, as some of y'all know, I wear actually 1982 around my neck. I was born in 1982.
It's like perfect. Like it's like meant to be right here.
Yeah.
That's absolutely.
So yeah, a lot of cool things happened in 1982.
A lot of people don't realize, like, Thriller came out in 1982. Like that's one of like the greatest albums of the
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm sure your father is proud of you in that sense, that you're able to create a legacy based on some of your experiences in a way that maybe isn't the traditional way, right?
For sure. I think, you know, and one of the things about us as men being able to share our journeys and experiences is that my dad was not diagnosed, but eventually found out he was bipolar. So he used alcoholism and drug use as a way to self-medicate. So my relationship with my father has never been great. And it was actually in the recent couple of years where my father's health deteriorated that I actually was able to understand my dad's journey. And I think a lot of times we don't realize how important the word grace and forgiveness is. And that's a big journey with a lot of our traumatic experiences in therapy. As we go through therapy, is a big portion of why sometimes we feel like we're messed up, right? is because we haven't learned the importance of healing and the importance of forgiveness. So when I found out about my father's story and how he was never given the opportunity to be a child, and how he grew up in a very abusive home, it definitely changed how I saw him from when I was a child to how I see him as an adult. So every day I get up, I think about men just like him that never got a fair chance to learn how to do things the right way. And so, every day I get up.
Or just not the traditional way, right?
And especially in the Latino community where, you know, you talked about it, the word machismo, it's like men are taught to work hard, keep your head down, and don't even talk about your emotions and feelings.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And, you know, trauma, for a long time, you only talk about the word trauma or PTSD in white communities or veterans. Now we're starting to see in communities where marginalized communities of people of color that are growing up in poverty, you're seeing that there's so much trauma that they're having and enduring they never got addressed. And we're talking about generational trauma. So
I recently, I don't remember the podcast, but I recently heard, I believe it was a podcast, I don't quote exactly who it was that said it, but it talked about how trauma is affected in our brains. And how, I do remember now, just remembered. So Kevin Smith, I don't know if you're familiar with who he is, but he just came out and talked about some trauma that happened to him. He is an indie movie, film director, writer, all that. And he really talked about some trauma that had happened to him. And what he realized is what he learned was that his trauma, though he thought at the time was small, still affected his brain scientifically, medically, in a very massive way. And so when sometimes we think, my struggle is not as bad as someone else's struggle, it's still really affecting us in a way that clinically we have no control over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome. Like, I've been working in mental health field for over 17 years, and so we've actually seen so many more studies and so many more focus on how trauma affects us. And and so funny is you can have a traumatic experience and then a smell or a song or something can pop up, and all of a sudden all these feelings and emotions you never thought you'd have come out of nowhere, and you're like, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? So
yeah, for sure. So what are some of the relationships, or what role do relationships and like support play in men's mental health? For instance, you know, I believe my dad also wasn't a machismo because he had a really supportive wife, my mother, who also kind of like was like, we're not putting up with that kind of stuff, right? And so how can we encourage men to like build strong connections with others, you know, through these and navigating these relationships? Because, you know, I always feel like the best partner or person that you can kind of, you know, open up to is your spouse, right? So I you know, am able to, I would call my husband my best friend because he pretty much knows everything about me. He knows everything about me. He knows who I am. He knows all my good side and all my bad side as well. And so, but how can we help support those relationships? What exactly, I guess, is a good...
Well, I can definitely say from a perspective of a man, I think for a lot of us, we definitely want women to understand that we do have emotions and feelings.
Right.
And you know, I think as hard as we are on men not being able to explore navigating through their emotions and feelings, I think women have also been taught by their relationships with their fathers, we don't ask about dad about his feelings and emotions.
Oh yeah.
So then it's burnt in our brains, like, oh, my husband's okay. And
or I hurt, or kind of like, oh, I hurt your feelings when I said that.
Right,
when I
right.
said some really ugly stuff.
Exactly. Because I think when a man does, I think where a man feels, I guess the safest is when he is around other men, right? The problem is that we actually got to be able to show men like how to be around positive groups of men, because there's a lot of men out there that have been taught the wrong way how to navigate their feelings,
Right.
Which
is going towards alcohol or other things. Or
so, I mean, any type of addictive things. I mean, we can look at the idea of men going to strip clubs. We can look at the idea of drugs, alcohol. There's so many avenues. Gambling. I mean,
Right.
those are things that actually, are big forces that end up pushing men to deep depression, because they don't know how. They don't know how to release a lot of this. And I think a lot of times men, when they do feel comfortable with, say, a spouse, and they talk about their feelings and emotions, sometimes what ends up happening is that partner can usually sometimes hold their emotions against them and use that against them. Yeah. So then men are like, what's the point?
Yeah, I'm not gonna, yeah.
So I think the way we can do it is, like, most importantly, and what 82 Purple is trying to do, partnering up with Sandcastle Psych, is that we're trying to create spaces for men to come together right now, and being able to show, like, hey, you know what? You can come together with men that look just like you, that talk just like you, and do things like art therapy and yoga, but do it in a way that's just really, really cool and dope. And of course, representation is so important. So when you have men that look like me, and you have men that look like Femi or Lakoya, who's an amazing psychotherapist, what happens is that you're like, okay, like, I can't talk to in a safe place. I can't talk to other guys. And I think reassuring other men, giving them their flowers. A lot of times us men go through life not feeling like we're good enough, not feeling like we're worthy enough, not feeling appreciated. There's a lot of men out there that work extremely hard. They work 9 to 5, they come home, it's all about the family, and they don't necessarily resonate the importance of self-care. They don't take care of themselves. They're not going out there and actually spending a little bit of time of actually getting a haircut or getting a massage, or, you know what, just having 5 minutes to yourself, not worrying about a damn thing, right? I think giving men the ability to feel like they can do that and not be judged for it. I think just like a woman,
just like women, how as women we want the same as well.
Absolutely, and I think that's super important. I think what women need is the exact same thing that men need, and vice versa, right? We can go back, like, how they're so important. I think giving each other those spaces, and being aware, because sometimes we can be so caught up in our own emotions that we forget about our partner's emotions, right?
Oh yeah.
So I think being aware of that, and subconsciously being aware, I tell men all the time, be aware of your brothers, your friends' emotions. Checking in on your friends, like, see, hey, are you doing okay? Because I guarantee no one's asked them.
Right.
Being able to do that, I think that's what we can do to create these groups that actually embodies and puts men's emotions first, so where we actually feel like we have an outlet to talk. So.
Yeah, and I'm really just impressed by everything you're saying, in the sense of, like, that someone out there had an inkling of, like, hey, we should be doing this.
Absolutely.
Because this is very new, and for me, this is the first time I've heard about this, and shout out to Deborah for connecting us and letting us know what was going on out there, because I was just like, girl, I need some mental health. I needed some mental health conversation. She's like, I got you. She's like, I got you. So I really appreciate that. But I also, here on Let's Vamonos, we like to share things that, people are doing that are out of the box, out of the norm too, as well. So, and creating these spaces. I saw also, y'all can see on their Instagram, they were had a Fox News report as well, that they were on local news sharing more about what they do. So I thought that was super cool that you've got now some highlights as well, some support from, just getting some exposure out there.
Yeah, I spent a good portion of my career working in a mental health psych hospital, and I was able to see absolutely what happens when you don't create real substantial programs in the community. We were talking about it. You can just drive down Houston and see a canvas of what mental health looks like, and then you ask yourself, like, what's going on? What's being done? We know for a fact that Texas is one of the worst states when it comes to mental health funding and resources. So when you look at it in a larger scale, like, I remember sitting in an office as big as a closet with Femi, psychotherapist, working on the acute unit, which is a very extreme psych unit. These are people in extreme crisis. And I would think to myself, like, I look at the branding and marketing mental health doesn't sound fun. Mental health doesn't sound cool. It sounds like it's something that you should be ashamed of or only pursue when things hit the fan in crisis. So it's always been a dream of mine for the last 10 years to actually create a room where we could actually make getting help dope, getting cool. So we recently, with some help from some people, since we are a for-profit company, we were able to get some donations, and we actually create a safe space, which was 6 hours. We call it No Retreat. And the reason why we call it No Retreat, because a lot of us men like to retreat when we talk about emotions and feelings. But this was a unique mental wellness pop-up, something I've been kind of working on for quite some time. But what we did was we created a gathering where women came together. They would have food, drinks, kind of put their cool down. And the next thing you know, we talked about the importance of self-care. We actually had a barber giving hot towels and facials and trimming beards, and you'd be surprised how many of those men have not taken enough time to actually do that for themselves. And we had a massage therapist, and then from that standpoint, we actually went right into a group therapy. For a lot of these men, this is the first time they actually even experienced what a group therapy looks like. From group therapy, we actually did yoga and journaling, and there were some very fit men that were still struggling with yoga, and Rashad, who's amazing, mindful muscle, did this, and the whole point of this is showing that accountability hurts sometimes as men, and a lot of us men don't know how to take accountability. So he was able to kind of navigate the pain that we're feeling, and then writing those emotions and feeling as we journaled, which was really awesome. And then we finished with actual art therapy. So you got grown men at 11:30 at night on a Friday night, with their wives calling them, "Where you at?" And we're texting our wives like, "We're doing art therapy. We're actually making masks." And Anthony Suber, who is an amazing artist, actually wanted us to understand how we turn the mask that we wear on our face, how we turn it inside out. Right. So it was a great journey, and so we just had these 6 hours, and of course we finished with last group therapy, which was about gratitude. But I couldn't tell you how important it was for men to actually feel like they're in a cool atmosphere, being able to talk to other men look just like them, and be able to experience this. And these are the kind of things that we have to do on a regular basis. Yeah. And when we talk about mental health, you were talking about it earlier, we don't necessarily have to talk about the clinical aspect. We can talk about the basics, which is coping skills and self-care. A big reason why a lot of us are depressed is because we don't have and understand those things. So if we do entry level and we make it fun, this will push people more so of getting the help that they need.
Yes, and I agree. And a lot of people don't know what their own self-care is for themselves, right? Sure. Like for some women, it's getting their hair done or getting their nails done. For others, it could be, just going on a walk, or a coloring book. I love to color.
I love the coloring book.
Yes, so I love coloring. It's always been something I used to do as a child. One of the things too, as y'all know, being on here, I really promote also advocating to channel your inner child. That's also something I guess from therapy I've learned, to channel your inner child, because that's really your truest self as well.
Absolutely.
And so, so I really appreciate that. I think that's so cool that I can only imagine what that room felt like too. The energy. Did it feel really peaceful and calm, or was there also a high energy as well?
I think there was. It was a high energy in the beginning. So like most of these men didn't know what a mental wellness.
Right. They didn't know what they were getting themselves into. Yeah.
But as the night progressed, it was just like I had men. I mean, some of these dopest, coolest, most aesthetically just creative men are like, I didn't know I needed this. Yeah. This is something I need. This is where I need to be on a regular basis. And they said that the for me it was very overwhelming, because as I was putting this together, I'm not gonna lie, I remember talking about this in the gratitude part of the session. It was like, guys, I really wanted to quit like 5 days, like up until like 5 hours even, because I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know if they're gonna get it, because I wanted to tell a story. I wanted to show men that therapy starts with the basics, and it's all about inches leading to what type of therapy that will work best for you. And here's the thing, I think we get so caught up in saying what we're not doing that we don't necessarily focus on what we are doing. Yeah. So the idea of even a man doing art therapy and working with like markers and feathers and all kinds of things and creating a mask, like it allowed you, like you said, to be your inner child and to focus on yourself for the first time and think about things that maybe you haven't thought about in a while. So the energy was extremely amazing. It was definitely, I think when everybody left and I was in a room all by myself and I was cleaning up and everything, it was definitely one of those like surreal moments, like this actually did work and she can prove that this actually makes a big difference.
Yeah. And it's just it's a stepping stone as well, as we all know. Like when we start something new, we start something, you know, that's out of the box. It's that first step. It's always the hardest. And it's always like, it feels super uncomfortable. It feels like you said, you're 5 days in, you're like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work.
You start second guessing yourself for big time, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Again, thank y'all so much for joining us. There are some people on that are on. Thank y'all so much for being here with us. If y'all have any questions or would like to ask any questions for Christopher, let us know. Drop them down below, comments, or just like general, like, hey, what's up? Like, we'll take that as well. But we just really appreciate y'all being here, supporting us. And we're glad to be able to have Christopher on and talk about mental health awareness, not just in general, but you know, also for men as well. We don't talk about it enough, and definitely changing the script as far as being able to have those conversations. And so I'm really honored to be able to be in a space with you where you're doing some really amazing things, because I think you have the passion for it, you have the know-how because of your experience from working in the clinics. And did you ever think that you would be here though? And I mean, did you think you were going to be in a hospital setting for most of your career, or what did you think?
Oh man, you know, I got, you know, COVID was a tough time for a lot of people, and golly, I ended up finally leaving the hospital as a case manager. My last 2 years, I primarily worked with adolescent girls and psych hospital and children. And it was very, very, very hard. It was very hard for me to bring that home.
Yeah.
That energy weighs heavy on you, especially when you see young people at that age that are coming in suicide and are coming from extremely awful homes, right? And you're seeing it take place. So when I finally got the the ability to actually do marketing, branding, and psych clinics, I was so excited and happy to finally move away from that and focus on how can I bring people together in a positive sense from a marketing brand standpoint. And then, you know, I got laid off during COVID, and then I didn't know what I was going to do with myself. And thankful that my wife believing in me. She seen me write and talk about all these amazing things I want to do creatively for mental health. She's like, this is the time to create your own company. Yeah. And I was able to do that. And not only that, you know, eventually get a job where I can work from home, and then on the weekend be able to focus my energy on creating my own business. And then linking up with Femi, I told Femi when we were working in a psych hospital that once he created his own practice, I would go find him, and I found him, and we've been doing amazing things since then. So
that's super cool. And one of the things that me and Chris talked about behind the scenes, y'all didn't get to hear any of the behind the scenes stuff. That's usually the fun stuff too. I wish we sometimes record some of that, but that's behind the scenes stuff that we. But a little bit of shared conversation about how you mentioned about you wanted to be one of those people that does things, not just has an idea or not just plans something out. You wanted to be that person that actually does things, which I really appreciated, because a lot of y'all know, let's Vamonos means let's go. Let's go, let's do it, right? And a lot of y'all know that. If I say I'm going to do it, I've been doing it and I'm doing it. So I really thought that was super cool, because, and it's also to get away from that imposter syndrome and to the sense of people think, I can't do that, right?
No, I mean, I didn't realize I had imposter syndrome until I started doing this. And I think it's easier sometimes to be more comfortable in the background because it feels easier, right? The difficulty is doing something like this, but at the same time, I'm so grateful to be here for someone like Deborah, for someone like you to have me here to talk about these passions of mine, because it basically it gives me the necessary support, but most importantly, what's the word, for affirmation, or that what I'm doing is meaningful and important. Yeah. And so as much as I harp on my client Femi to constantly be in front of the camera, I was telling her I have to do that today. So I think at the end of the day, I think when we have the ability to put mental health on a platform, we have to do it on a regular basis.
Especially when it comes to our Latino community and people of color, it's just super important. So, you know, I wish you nothing but success in that sense. But let's almost, like as we say, you know, we want to continue to support. So how can we continue to support you and what you're doing? And, you know, if you have future things coming up, let us know. We want to be able to support and share on here and let people know what's going on. We didn't know about that first event, but that's okay. We'll hop on the second one and let people know.
Yeah.
So, but how else can we support as well?
Well, we're definitely we're definitely doing a lot of things. We're actually working on a kind of a mini no retreat mental wellness pop-up that will focus primarily on yoga with Rashad and mindful muscle, and we're actually working on our second wellness pop-up. So we're working on getting that money and support together. The goal is that we want to be able to provide free group therapy for when men attend this. We want to make sure. We actually had men. It's so funny. Bless these guys' hearts. They're like, do I have to gotta pay something? Do I need to give money? Like, no, it's absolutely free. We want to be able to do this where it's free on a regular basis. So we're working on that. But we have a lot of awesome, amazing things in store. So first and foremost, please follow 82 Purple. Please follow Femi Talks Therapy. Definitely follow us because we have a lot of things in store. We want to continue to really hit the market for BIPOC men. We're working on doing things that are going to be for BIPOC women and BIPOC adolescents, and we're also going to be working on the LGBTQ community as well. So those are super, super important things. We want to make sure that we really, really put representation on us, but also we hope to inspire younger generation to get involved. There's not a lot of Latino therapists.
No, there's not.
Spanish-speaking therapists, and
Yes.
there's not a lot of African-American therapists as well. So we need more of us to get involved in it, so that way we can really, really attack and be able to talk to our communities.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you mentioned that. So I actually have my therapist is a Latina.
That's what I'm talking about.
She is she's a little bit older than me, which is fine. But I had the experience of having that first white lady with the clipboard. I had that experience, and it was okay. It wasn't horrible, but it was okay. But one of the things that I really encouraged myself when I was looking for a therapist or counselor, I said I needed her to understand the dynamics of a Latino home, because there is so many different dynamics. And when I talked to her about, certain things, I wanted her to understand, I know what you're talking about. I've been there, I've seen it, I've experienced it. And so that was really something super important for me, because I didn't want to talk about the hierarchy of a Latino home and her be like, I don't really, what do you mean? What are you talking about?
Absolutely.
Like,
I mean, representation is so important. We can see it every day. When we don't see people that look like us in the movies or in social media, it makes a big difference. We want to feel like we have somebody that understands what we're going through as a culture, as people. So important. Sandcastle Psych has definitely taken pride in making sure that they have BIPOC therapists. That's all they have.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we're not going to see everyone.
Right.
But we also want to make sure that we are a safe place for us minorities to go to and be able to feel like there's someone there that represents us.
Yeah.
So important. And I will say this too, because I think that sometimes this kind of gets misconstrued. When it comes to searching for a therapist, I was just talking to a good friend of mine. It's like finding the perfect pair of running shoes, right? You might try on a lot of different pairs of shoes before you find the right pair that's like cushioned and gives you the durability and structure that you need. So if you experienced therapy and you didn't bond or you didn't connect with that person, it's okay. They're not going to take it personal. It's okay to your journey in life. Just like I always say, like even for a woman finding the right hairstylist or a man finding the right barber, you got to find a couple of ones, and not everybody's going to work for you, but please don't give up, because I think therapy is so important. Not even when you're going through bad things, even when everything's great, it's good to have a therapist, because you don't know what's coming ahead of you. Right. So it's great to prepare yourself, and a lot of us weren't taught the right way how to deal with those things. So being able to be prepared for those things will just enhance your life and make you the version of yourself that you want to be. So.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I'm super inspired by just chatting with you. I didn't get to meet Chris prior to today, so everything that he's saying is just it's just hitting hard for myself for what Let's Vamonos does, and just making sure we're creating those spaces for the community to be able to come on here and be like, oh, I hadn't really thought about that, or this is new for me, and this is a safe place as well for anybody to come and to talk about our community and to support our community. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. Again, where can we follow and support? Again, let everybody know.
Definitely at 82.purple. You can also follow me personally at Chris, spelled THRISRODGEZ. Yeah, definitely. And of course, definitely check out Family Talks Therapy, that Sandcastle Psych.
And we'll also put the links and stuff on our social media as well. As y'all know, I'm going to be sharing this episode. If you're not able to catch it live, no worries. We'll be sharing the full episode throughout the following week. So you'll be able to get clips and highlights of what we talked about today, but also the full episode. And some of y'all might know, or some of y'all might not know, but once this episode's over, it actually is already up and ready on Facebook and YouTube. Okay. So you can
that's easy.
There. So yeah, so we'll definitely be able to share throughout the whole week. So we're super excited about that. But other than that, I really appreciate you coming on, being supportive of Let's Vamonos, vice versa. We're here for each other, for the community. And if we don't have any other questions out there, hi. There was a hi earlier from Emily, which is my hairdresser. Hi, Emily.
You did a great job with her hair.
Yes, thank you so much. But other than that, any last words?
Absolutely. Definitely reach out to me. You can reach me DM. I have put together an enormous amount of resources. It doesn't have to be Sandcastle Psych. I've worked with so many therapists. I definitely want to be a resource for people, even questions, even if you're hesitant about seeking help. We want to be able to help you. Most importantly, I want to say thank you so much. My journey this year has really been wanting to really touch in, my heritage in the Latino community. Something that I feel like I've been kind of missing in my life, and I'm so thankful and happy that I'm able to be on a show right here with you and being able to talk to all of my fellow Latinos. And I'm gonna try to learn Spanish because it's definitely I need to know more words than Vamonos.
Right?
But I do want to say thank you so much. It's been an honor, and I'm just so grateful to be here today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Again, we appreciate all the love and support that y'all give out there to us. And again, let's Vamonos. Bye.